Greg, you've had time to watch back Sunday's match against Pontypridd United. Do you have the same feelings about the game now as you did straight after it?
Probably more pleased, to be honest. I think at the time there was a little bit of frustration at the, just at the sloppy mistakes that we made. Obviously conceding a goal in that match where we were, out of possession. We were very comfortable. They really didn't cause us too many problems, so it was disappointing to concede a goal. But I think watching it back now, there were definitely a lot more pleasing things to come out of the game that maybe you didn't notice at the time. Just in terms of how quickly we did win the ball back, how hard we worked, getting bodies around the ball to win the ball back nice and quick. Lots of chances created. On another day, we could have scored another 3 or 4, and it could have been a lot more convincing. So on another day, we come out of that game with 6 or 7 goals. So it's very pleasing. Like I say the main thing on that day was getting 3 points on the board. It's always a case of, any season just wanting to get that first win under your belt as soon as possible. So we've done that first game, so we can relax a little bit now and move on to Sunday.
As you said, another trip down to South Wales awaits this weekend with a match at Kincoid campus against Cardiff Met. There's been a lot of changes at Met with coaching staff and players over the summer. With that in mind, how much can you take from the last match played against them in April?
Not a lot. I mean, that's a different season. Even when we played Ponty, we didn't read into the good results that we had against them last season. It was a fresh team, fresh start for them, fresh start for us this season. So no, I mean, that's obviously we beat them 5-4 last game. We beat them 2-0 the time before, but that's completely irrelevant now. They've got a new manager, new players, so we'll be going into it. We've obviously not as much knowledge as what we did have on them last season, so they've obviously got off to a losing start against Cardiff City, which was probably expected. We can't really read too much into that. So it's probably a good thing. We'll have to go down there and make sure that we're focused. And if we can put in a slightly better performance than what we did on Sunday, then I'm sure we'll be fine. But we'll just see what happens. I know the girls have worked really hard this week in training. We've covered a lot of areas. So we're fully prepared for Sunday. Looking forward to it.
With that in mind, with what you just said, can the players really take much of a psychological advantage from the 5-4 victory in the last game of last season?
I think psychologically, with them being top 3 team last season, the fact that we beat them on the last 2 occasions. So obviously psychologically, we know that we belong in the to be competing with the top teams now. So from a psychological point of view, obviously we've got over that barrier of up until the second phase last season, having not taken a point off the top 3 teams. So we've well and truly crossed that border, crossed that barrier now. So from a psychological point of view, there should be no doubt in the girls' minds, and I don't think there is, that we're fully deserved to be where we are.
Have you been able to gain much information on the Archers from their opener against Cardiff City last Sunday?
I've heard a few little bits and bobs. So, there's, like I say, there's a few players that they're a completely different team. They've lost a lot of players to the likes of Cardiff City and Swansea. Big important players for them as well. So, no doubt they'll make a massive difference not having those players. They're a very young team. Look at the bench; it's very, very young and very inexperienced. Certainly from the squad that they had to choose from on Sunday against Cardiff City, there wasn't a lot of impact come off the bench. Whereas you look at our bench now, and all of a sudden it's any of those 5 players could quite easily slot into the starting lineup and have very little impact, if any, to the starting lineup. So we're in a great position. We won't be focusing too much on Cardiff Met. It'll be all about us, just worrying about ourselves, taking care of our own performances, and the rest will take care of itself.
You were mentioning last night's training session before. Has what happened last night potentially influenced what squad is going to be put out to play Daniel DeLahy's side?
Yeah, I mean, we worked on a couple of different things last night. Slightly new formation that we might go with, or we might look to go with if things maybe aren't going to plan on Sunday. We've obviously got the way that we like to play first and foremost, but I think it's important that, if things aren't going right, especially now with the players that we've got, there's a lot more flexibility with how we can play. So, we worked on a couple of things last night. It was very pleasing. So, myself and Sean just had a meet this morning. So, we'll give it another 24 hours before we sort of confirm which way we're going to go. A couple of little niggles as well. So we'll have to wait until probably, late Friday, Saturday afternoon before we can sort of confirm the starting lineup.
With players in mind, how is availability looking ahead of this weekend's encounter?
Yeah, really good. Just one player unavailable. Danny Staley, who done really well last Sunday, is unavailable. So Kirsty will come back Kirsty Corral will come into the squad. Yeah, again, that just shows that, you know, you can lose a player of Danny's ability, but, you know, you got a player of Kirsty's ability to come into the squad. So it just shows what a strong position we're in. And, you know, we'll have a full, very strong 16 players to choose from.
Finally, the draw for the Bute Energy Welsh Cup was made last night, and it's Connors Quay Nomads at home. Happy with the outcome?
Yeah, very happy. Obviously, I think any cup, first and foremost, you want a home draw. And then, we'll just look forward to Connors Quay. Obviously, we were due to play them in pre-season, but we had to postpone that. So, we'll see what we can find out about Connors Quay. But yeah, everyone will look forward to that one, and fingers crossed we can go deep in that competition.